Hey there, is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking here at a 1996 Toyota Hiace Super Custom G Excellent. That's right, the name of the car is Super Custom G Excellent. Now this one has only 40,000 original kilometers on it. Was bought from auction here in Japan. We're going to be sending this one over to the USA. Okay, so it's the 3-liter turbo diesel. This one with rear wheel drive instead of the 4-wheel drive. That's the common one. The engine is a peach. These really low mileage ones, you can tell the difference when you rev it up and when you drive it. It's nice and powerful and it feels great. Now we'll take a look at the condition of the car. I just noticed something. I did check the moon roofs. And that one there I didn't close all the way, so I left it open part way. It stops by itself at the halfway point. I'm not sure why it does that. Same thing as the old Land Cruisers did that too. It's like a feature of them. And so you get sunroof there, and sunroof there. They call this the triple moonroof version, and it's really cool. These Hiaces are great. They're basically like a Lexus minivan in terms of quality. So let's go ahead and translate this. It comes from 1996. It's the Hiace Wagon. There's actually two versions of the Hiace. So Wagon is the version for like consumers or commuter vehicle, whereas the van version is for commercial, and they actually have a different chassis, different suspension, but both called the same thing. Actually, there's one more Hiace called the truck version, and it's like that one there. Hiace truck, Hiace van, and Hiace wagon. So this one's the wagon. Super Custom G. The seller there did not tell you how excellent the car is. Super Custom G, excellent. Love it. Okay, so what do we have on the inspection seat here? This is an Auxiliary 4B, which is about as high as you can get for a car that is this old. 39,676 kilometers at the time of auction. It had Shaken, which is the Japanese registration until 2023-11, but then it was crossed out. I think they deregistered it before sending it to auction, which is no deal, no problem for export. It's only for registration for driving on the road here in Japan. Sales points are sunroof, electric curtains, alloy wheels, and toll collection box. This one also has the half lace seat covers that are popular in Japan, and I've heard in other Asian countries as well. I'm not sure about other Western countries. Definitely in Canada or America, something like that wouldn't fly. But it is very JDM and unique feeling on a car like this, and I think a lot of people really, really dig those. Interior 1 part dirty and wear. Winter tires on this one. Underside 1 part surface rust. Now I took a bunch of pictures on the underside. It looks clean as a whistle under there. You'll find one of the areas that these are prone to rusting is on these split section of the frame where it turns into like a Y, and you can see how clean and nice that looks here. And all the way down, it's all looking very good. And then various small scratches, small dents. And then I highlighted in yellow the two kind of areas that might be major before I went and saw the vehicle. This area here is quite big and damaged. It's called an AU2. This one here, the A2, really isn't that bad. I'll show you that in a second as well. And then A2 on the back bumper is pretty common on the Hiaces. Pretty easy to scratch that bumper when you load or unload things from the back. Okay, so let's do a once around so you can see it from all different angles. You can tell the 2-wheel drive one because it is lower in suspension height. I think maybe 1.5 inches difference. And then also, I think that's probably the only visual difference. The old ones used to have the huge locking hubs on the wheels, but then from the KZH generation, I think 1993 or 1994, they now use a full-time 4-wheel drive system. And so why get the rear-wheel drive one? Well, it is lighter. It's probably lighter by around 70 to 100 kilograms or so, which isn't a huge amount. You'll get better fuel economy because less parasitic drag from the 4-wheel drive system. It is full-time after all. You can't just switch that out. And they do cost a heck of a lot less than the 4-wheel drive ones. And so while I think that the majority of the market wants the 4-wheel drive ones, if you want a Hiace and you know you're not going to be 4x4ing, you can save several $1,000s by getting these rear-wheel drive ones. Okay, and then interior and exterior and everything else, it's all basically the same. It's not like you're going down market by getting one of these rear-wheel drive ones, even if you are getting that cost savings. Okay, looking at the details here, we got a little bit of fade in the front grille. It has like a chrome finish, and some of the chrome is kind of worn away. Okay, there's a bit of moisture in the bottom marker light here. Okay, has a set of fog lights there integrated into the bumper. Has a few rock chips on the front. Now they said A1 on the front bumper. These hiaces are prone to rock chipping in this front face here, especially if they're a tailgating type driver that owned them previously. So we got a couple here, we got two here, one here, and one here. Okay, there are some down here, but they tend to be smaller in this section. The paint on the plastic bumper is softer and less likely to chip than on the metal front face. It has a nice mirror here. This is awesome to have, especially if you're going to be parking next to something really close, because from the driver's seat over there, you can see this mirror, and it gives you a great view of within centimeters of the front bumper. You have a similar type thing in the back. There's a mirror in the back as well that does the same thing. And completely flat sides with lots of windows down the side, making this thing really easy to park, really easy to drive. Go down the side, the decal hasn't been sun damaged at all. So it looks like this one was likely parked in a garage or something, which is fairly uncommon here in Japan. Probably, at least in the city, less than 1% of the houses have an enclosed garage. Many people will, like higher end houses would have something like that at the end of the street. It's like a canopy, but that's still fairly uncommon. Maybe only 30% of the houses have that. Okay, here's the AU2. You can see there's a scuff here. Some of this you're going to be able to cut out with a polish of the car, but you can see this damage here, a tiny bit on the tail light, and that area there is dented in just a little bit. Okay, now the A2 on the back bumper, well, first off we have this section here that has been scratched and then painted with the wrong color paint. We also have a bend in this under flap. Now the flap is supposed to be flappy like this. It's just the way that it was made, so that when you hit something it just moves out of the way. Not all of them have that. That's kind of like a extra feature or something. And I'm not even sure why it exists. I don't even think it helps for aero purposes. Don't know. So, some scratches here, but these are the A2 on the bumper. The A2 on the back hatch, I found some, they're not that visible. So in this area here, there are a number of small scratches. You can really hear those cicadas. I've had so many people in videos this week talking about them in the comments section. And we probably got another 3 weeks of them still. Okay. Going down this side, there's really not much to say. All of the areas that typically rust are not rusty. There's really not much damage. There are a couple of mild dents in this door that you might be able to see. There you go, you can see them now. There you go. Actually, you can see them better now than you could when I was shooting these videos earlier, because this part was in the sun. So, mirrors. The paint on them is very clear and fresh. There is some chipped paint on this side, but see how, look at this. Let's get a focus on this. Okay, you see how this looks like this? Usually these mirrors look just like this everywhere on the entire mirror. This one is much fresher than your typical one. You get the same thing on this one. Look, this is great all the way down. And this one down here as well. Looks good. Okay, to the interior. So, still has some of the original plastic that was left on there 25 years ago. It's the protective plastic to transport the car to the dealer. Some people in Japan like to keep that plastic on just because it keeps the underlying plastic in good condition. It's more common than you would think it is to do that, but usually the plastic itself won't last this long on there, so it is fairly unique still. Okay, no cigarette burns, no bad smells. I don't think it's ever been smoked in, and this feels so soft and not dirty at all. It doesn't feel like the atmosphere has touched this car. Seat has the same soft feeling. Oh, mosquitoes. One less mosquito. Okay. And these are official hiace dealer option. We actually got a set of those recently, and it was a never before added on set, like never used before. And we sold it, and it was like $500 we were able to sell it for. So yeah, people love that, especially ones that are in good condition. Floor carpets are good. They got this unique pattern from this generation. This is the second to most modern generation of this hiace before they changed over to the next model. They had the same hiace for like, basically they run 15-year model runs, and then they had, I think, 4 generations within the same model run. So this is, I don't know, like the 5th or 6th generation of the hiace, but then there are 4, you know, I don't know, I'm trying to explain this. There's something called Zenki and Koki. People who know like Japanese cars might know those terms. That's early model and late model. And so the hiace has like Zenki and then Chuki, which would mean in the middle model, and then a second Chuki, and then a final model. CD player in this. I guess people don't use CD players as much as they used to, but it used to be a hot item. Okay, shifter works fantastic. This is all really clean. It is a huge difference when you're in a very nice and clean hiace compared to a dirty one. And I just took my extractor machine to my minivan. It took me 2 hours to extract the carpets and the seats in the van. And I didn't get to any of the panels or the headliner, and I didn't get to like wiping down the dashboard or anything. It takes a long time to clean out a van because there's just so much fabric that you have to deal with. Going into the side here. Okay. So tons and tons and tons of leg room. And the transmission hump can be used as a footstool. So you can stretch out your legs completely in the hiace, which is one of the coolest feelings in any car, to put your feet up like that. There actually are ones that, like the Alphard has like footstools that flip down from the chairs. A later model Toyota minivan. These seats can rotate to point in the other direction if you want, which is really cool. Just switch, and then you can have a party in the car. There is an optional karaoke machine, but it's really rare. Heater controls there, cigarette lighter adapter in a little place, plus a place for your gross cigarettes. Okay, I'll close this in a second, but this thing you do by hand. Otherwise, huge sunroof. I don't know why they do this. They have AC controls here, heating controls there. A little bit weird. Into the back, it's really easy. You just pull this up. And you'll notice this seat belt here is only for when the seat is facing backwards. So you can still use the seat belt when it's facing backwards. When it's facing forward, you get the 3-point. Backward, you get the belt only. Okay, easy to enter into the back. And then this seat here can also slide. Both rows can slide. So this one here is in the full back position right now, affording you tons of leg room again. And then if you wanted more storage room, you can move that forward. And the hiaces really shine in terms of storage room. While you can't flip these seats out of the way, you really don't need to that much. You can flip the front down and move this as far forward as possible and use it as a shelf. And you still get tons of room in the back. Probably a good amount more than a Land Cruiser, even the 5-seater. Into the back. Oh, it is not in the full back position. You have this much more. Yeah. Love the amount of room in here. And the quality of the fabrics and the fit and finish of everything. These things are really luxury minivans. Okay. And this is made out of a soft material that's easy to damage, so take care if you own one of these. And this one is in pretty much immaculate condition. Still has the original plastic on these corners. I'm not sure why they only put the plastic on the corners there, but that's what they did. And some dirtiness in the lace seat covers at the top here. Not sure what that's about. Okay, here's what your sunroofs in the back look like. This counts as one of your triple, so you could kind of call it a 4 sunroof version. Okay, close that up. The Super Custom G Excellent. You can tell people that's what you drive. I drive a Super Custom G Excellent. And they're like, whoa, what's that? Oh, I gotta mention this too. There's some scratches on the front bumper that I forgot to mention. One here. One here. Oh, mosquito. One less mosquito. And there's a sticker here that says Rugby World Cup 2019. There's actually a gash underneath that tiny little sticker. So if you take that off, you'll see something. I didn't do it because I didn't want to. In case you really like rugby, leave it there. Okay, that's all for that. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.